Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I wish to present to you something that I shall now call a miracle meal. Hot wings. Soft, fatty, juicy, spicy, and delectable wings that can be made in well under an hour and maybe even 30 minutes if you skip marination. And probably the biggest miracle in this meal is the fact that this was made in the air fryer. No oil harmed. I'm dead serious when I say that this is one of the best meals made on this channel. Now let's get right into this one. This batch of chicken is probably a lot bigger than what most people will be making, about 25 flats and drums in total. To make it easier, I'm going to season it without measuring at all. It may seem daunting at first, but this wing recipe is actually quite lenient. A quick side note, I'm wearing gloves because raw chicken is full of bacteria and I do not want to be touching anything with chicken juice on my hands. As you can see, I'm just sprinkling on some kosher salt and mixing it in around. For any recipe using meat, I recommend using coarse salt because it's a lot easier for this kind of method of seasoning. I can see how much salt I'm adding and the crystals are more visible on the chicken. I ended up sprinkling about 2 to 3 tablespoons, but again, don't worry about it all that much. If it looks like there's an even distribution of salt on the chicken, then you should be fine. Next, I'm going in with some freshly ground black pepper. I'm using coarse again just because it's easier to tell how much you're putting in. Don't worry about the black pepper burning in the oven. The oven is not going to be even close to hot enough to burn it. Next, in goes some cayenne. Not a lot of cayenne because I'm going to be dipping the chicken inside a spicy sauce. Then I'm going in with some paprika. I'm being pretty generous with this spice because paprika is in no way, shape, or form an overwhelming spice. Then I'm putting just a little white pepper because it can be very overwhelming. Then a lot of garlic powder because it tastes very, very, very good. Then give that a thorough mix. Then I'm gonna put in like a half cup of all-purpose flour onto the wings and mix it well. I'm mainly using this to make a sort of paste that I think more evenly distributes the seasoning. If you want your wings crispy, then I recommend dipping each individual wing in some flour that's been seasoned with a few pinches of salt and some black pepper. Now you can more clearly see the paste that I was talking about. Once all that's done, you can leave the chicken to marinate for an hour like I did, or you could just bake them straight away. The marination is definitely not a must for this recipe. If you have the time though, it would not hurt. Set your air fryer to 380 degrees Fahrenheit or your oven to 380 degrees convection. My air fryer design may be different from yours, so baking times may differ. Most air fryers don't have baking sheets like this, and once the air fryer is preheated, plop them in and bake them off. A lot of recipes that I've seen online say that the air fryer only took 15 minutes to bake their wings at the exact same temperature. Ours took about 25, which is very confusing to me, but as long as you check the temperature of the wings, you should be fine. While those are in there, I'm going to make the sauce, which is probably the easiest part of this recipe, and most of the ingredients are probably things you already have at home. And this sauce is absolutely legendary. I was really surprised at how good it came out, and it took these wings to a completely new level. Get a small saucepan over medium heat and throw in 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Once the butter is melted, in goes 2 cloves of finely chopped garlic, about 2 tablespoons of sriracha, a tablespoon of another fermented hot sauce I saw lying around, but you could just use another tablespoon of sriracha, a spoon of granulated sugar, about a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. I don't care if it's light or dark, I honestly don't know the difference. I also found some barbecue sauce that nobody wanted, so I used some of that too. I forgot to add this earlier, but a glug of white vinegar as well. Then just whisk that all together and leave it for 2 to 5 minutes over medium heat, and it is done. And once the wings have an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit, they're ready to go. Place them onto a cooling rack, which keeps them from getting soggy, and let them rest for about 2 to 5 minutes depending on how patient you are. Then place the chicken in a bowl and some of your sauce and mix it until all the wings are fully coated. I'm serious guys, give this one a try because it was insanely delicious and surprisingly easy. The chicken was juicy and succulent, and the sauce had some flavors that reminded me of sweet and sour chicken, a little sweet and pretty spicy to counteract. The garlic was also pretty noticeable. And to think that this was made with no oil at all and baked in an air fryer is pretty crazy. I hope you guys try this out, and if you do, tell me how it came out. See you guys next time.